my observation. But negotiation itself is why the difficult is just I told you, expanding product line and expanding territory scope, and so kind of ask them to increase profit to 30% instead of 8%, and then headquarters going to invest 100 million or 10 million, what kind of investment or send people. That kind of changing strategy is very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, almost all Japanese companies cannot do that. They don't understand what to want to do.
Mm.
So, like you can have a look to Chinese market. Only success, Uniqlo success, Toyota success, but not so many companies success there. Because headquarters in Japan do not understand what situational change is happening there.
Mm.
So the sort of things is Japanese is too conservative in Tokyo, so they cannot much support for local people. That's the reason is in China, almost none of company success there.
Mm. You need to be very aggressive there.
Right?
And agile.
Well, you see, China, if you go into Shanghai a couple of months, they change a lot.
Mm.
But if you stay in Tokyo, but for 10 years, nothing changed, right? So it's very difficult to follow on current structural change. And the other way around, okay? Japanese people, Japanese, big differences. Chinese people, oh, what happened?
What happened?
Somebody coming out. Okay, Chinese people, for 10 years, they never change. Okay? For 20 years, they never change.
Mm.
2000, year 2000, or 2020, people itself never change.
Mm.
Many people misunderstand. And they are like Alipay or payment system is completely different, change and IT situation,
Right.
and transportation, a big change. Transportation, like subway is the number one in the world in Shanghai.
Right, communication completely
But
changed.
I tell you, people never change. This kind of things, don't misunderstand that.
Mm.
Japanese people is changing a lot. Why? I don't know. The Japanese is young people, recently young people, they very much different from senior people. But Chinese is, they are very stable education system.
Mm.
They don't change much.
Mm.
Right? Respect elderly.
Mm.
This
Right.
is no change. But Japan is changed a lot. Sort of thing we don't misunderstand kind of how to manage overseas company. And sort of this is my understanding for China. Korea is the same.
Mm.
So if we going to consider for you said delegate, it means I understand. But many factors should be considered.
Right. So there's still of course the skill set, but that's not different from, for example, within the Japanese corporations. You cannot automatically assume that somebody who's very good in managing operations will also be good in managing the accounting division, or that is just a different skill set.
But I just spirit of Japan, what I'm teaching, right, in the morning.
Mm.
This is what the Jasa said.
Mm.
Not simplify.
Mm.
Many factors involved. Sophisticated.
Right.
Japanese is environment and overseas environment. Not easy to make judgment.
Right.
Not simplify.
Mm.
So at that base, Japanese spirit. What is our Japanese spirit? How to get communicate with overseas people is not easy.
Mm.
But this is what I said. This is not easy to explain.
Right. But
company top executive. What just I said. Okay.
Mm.
Right.
But it's basically comes back to what we have been talking about a couple of months ago when we were talking about the difference between holistic society and a linear active society, where Japanese society is much more holistic than Western society. We tend to think in models, in abstractions, in simplification, in order to make sense, to look at the bigger picture, and then from the bigger picture, the bigger perspective, we can more easily make decisions, but we should never forget to translate that back to the complex reality. In Japan, you don't make that simplification process because it doesn't do justice to the reality. The reality is not a model. The reality is the reality. So we need to look at the reality from every different angle and look at it seriously, diligently into the depths of detail.
So always I'm talking about if you're going to come into school for 2 years, you can go overseas and you can take a position top people at the local company and service there is the head. This is not simple. I can't speak out, just spirit of Japan. Not easy. More sophisticated. You need to consider. You need to study in English. So this is what I so-called content. This kind of content is many Japanese people never understand what I'm speaking about. Just you said simply delegate, okay? Japanese top executive always say, I delegate all responsibility to Singapore president. What this mean? Okay, delegate. You can make judgment, whatever you like. He said, but this is not true. Right? Some portion you discard responsibility. Situation changed immediately. You should involve in Brazil, Mexico, and everywhere else, and try to communicate with local people executive. But many cases, Japanese top executives, they cannot do that, or they will not do that. So they say, excuse me, I delegate. It's risky.
Okay, so I got the impression that actually Japanese managers do not really like to delegate.
No, of course, yes. Do you know why? Because they try to keep their position. Whenever he going back to Japan, overseas assignment is they cannot get advantage, as you know.
Right.
Whenever going back to Japan, the same position, and just if they don't want to get a failed, a case in overseas, and disadvantage with his disadvantage, he don't want to go back to Japan. So that they don't want to get responsibility, right? And top executive want to delegate responsibility, want to delegate it because just you said delegation. Delegation means he will go and take responsibility. He try to expand his territory or market share, whatever. He try to make an effort, right? And he does not delegate anything else. He don't do the job well. He don't take responsibility. He can success business there locally. So top executive want to delegate responsibility. You can take, but problem is Japanese company clearly define his responsibility. Okay, just what I told you.
Right.
Unless an economy sluggish or some kind of climate change. This case is we want to talk with you.
Right.
Or take action.
Right.
Sort of procedures missing in Japanese side.
Right.
That local people don't want to take the responsibility. It is every kind. I delegated. You can make judgment. Oh my bullshit,
Right.
And the economy is sluggish and changing, but we need additional investment. But headquarters, they say no, we can't do that.
This kind of scenario thinking, I think in Western society, they are kind of well developed. So recently we had a terrorist attack in Netherlands, as an example. All of a sudden, like all the aid, all the bodies, like the ambulance, the hospitals, the police, the civil service, everything started to work together. Very quickly the situation was back under control. But they have prepared already like a blueprint for these kind of situations. So if that situation starts to occur, they just call that blueprint is going into effect right now. Everybody knows what to do.
Unify.
Yeah.
Japanese doesn't. They cannot. They are very stable society, stable country. Even if overseas in South there is happening kind of things, they don't take action. But this is our culture. But I recommend them. We should understand this environment. That's the reason why Japanese company much more globalized to understand. Send people overseas, but also domestic people, top executive need to study the kind of multicultural issues, right? And so sort of things we must be concerned about that. This is this afternoon 2 hour multicultural issue we talking about. This is true negotiation. What I'm trying to prepare for Japanese but almost all companies, they don't do that. Maybe Uniqlo, Mr. Yanai doing that. He went to China and also delegated Chinese top executive to communicate.
The
with
head
them.
of Uniqlo Japan, for China, is Chinese, right?
Yeah, Chinese. Of course.
Chinese. Right?
And luckily, he's a very good person. So that's Uniqlo China is doing a good job. These top people, I believe, not only Mr. Yanai. Of course, he's making effort, but top executive have good talent. Hitachi president, I thought this is, I'm not sure now, but 7-8 years ago, he's Taiwanese. He's a very good person. And so, Chinese or Chinese, not Japanese. But not only a delegate, local person, but they need to communicate or intermediate how to delegate and how to catch up the situation change. Economically, politically, everything, situation change, what kind of reaction should going to make.
Right.
Otherwise, it's, even if local top executive is a super guy, but very risky. In some cases, they cannot compete against kind of obstacles, like drastically terrorist attack or drastical economical change or exchange rate change. They cannot get profit. And this case, what kind of action they should take? So otherwise, the company growth will stop. Sort of thing is risk management is big. But I don't clearly explain kind of my material. So they never tell that. But through the discussion, I always speak out. No, this we need to consider everything. You should not consider everything stable. Right? The sort of things is Japanese, they don't have it. But European people, I think they are familiar with that because Europe area is not stable always.
No, it's always in moving.
So if you're going to make investment in Africa, if you're going to invest in the Middle East, they can make quick reaction. So Japanese people cannot do that.
So we have sayings like, okay, change is a constant. It's one saying. Another thing is like, if you don't change, you're moving backwards. Those are.
Last week, big event in Tokyo, African investment opportunity. Many people get together to listen to Africa, the big investment opportunity. Okay, many Japanese companies going to Africa. I agree with them. But 3 or 5 years later, it's half of those get terrible.
Get back.
Get back. This is very,
it's still
obvious.
early, but yeah.
Obvious.
But, I mean, you may want to get on that bandwagon quickly, but it's
obvious. But whenever go there and the government doesn't move, in the different their first attitude, they change the time.
Or they can't find qualified people, or they have difficulty with the infrastructure, or they have problems with bribes, or there are so many challenges.
Exactly. So everything we should understand. There's some certain bribe, okay, I allow them to do that. What kind of sort of things, is prevailing. 20% no problem, sort of things. Just allowances going to consider, this are consider, and then they need to everything. You shouldn't do that. Can't do that. Nothing they cannot do.
Right. Well, officially, they will always say that bribes are not acceptable.
Yeah, but it's prevailing everywhere. By the way, 3 o'clock. Are you going to take a break?
Yeah. Okay.
And
I will get coffee.
No, I don't need. I have.
You don't? Okay. It must be cold.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Just throw them. Okay. That back.
All right.
Okay, I'll stop recording. I hope this is successful. 1 hour, just only 1 hour 30 minutes.
All right.
Yeah.